As odd as this is going to sound, the tragic ending in this final episode worked well for the series finale. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on the final episode and the series finale of Star Wars The Clone Wars. It's amazing for how so long we've been watching this and so much that has happened in Star Wars The Clone Wars. All the stuff we were given that filled in plot holes that we got from Revenge of the Sith between New Hope and Star Wars Rebels and all that is just awesome. But I'm gonna have to make another video on that later. We need to talk about this episode. And first off, the beginning of it all, it just, you see it, and when you first watch that episode, you are already knowing this is gonna end badly because of, first off, the music that we are showing as we are getting the title of this episode. The music background that's played in there just was telling you that it's not going to be a happy episode ending. It was just a tragic episode ending, sad to be exact, which makes sense because when this is still connected in Revenge of the Sith. So like how in Revenge of the Sith, for the most part, things ended badly, tragedy, because the Sith, Darth Sidious, is now the emperor of the new galactic empire. He has now taken over the world. The Sith Lords have taken over the galaxy. So it is only natural that since this is connected in with Revenge of the Sith, it ends exactly like that too, with tragedy. It's just, this tragedy really does hurt because the fact that at the end, all of those people who died in that crash, I won't lie, I was really sad for that. Especially in the fact that all those clone troopers were people that Ahsoka wasn't trying to kill at all. She wanted to do everything she can not to kill them because it was just her, Rex, and the three Astro Mega units, the R2 units, and basically all they were doing was just trying to fight to survive. For Rex, he thought it'd been best that they just like shoot him down and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I have to actually agree with Rex. Situations to where it all ended show that maybe that might have been best instead of what we got. But then at the same time, it wouldn't have been as emotional. But that's just my personal thoughts on it. Cause yeah, Rex was pretty much not wanting to do it because he felt they were suffering. They were under a trance and everything, not knowing what they were doing. And he thought it would have been better to kill them instead of letting them have to keep on dying and stuff. But of course, Ahsoka is a good person at heart, and you gotta admire that about her and stuff, because Rex definitely showed it too. Because here's the thing, when he was not exactly argument, but debating with Ahsoka on how they shouldn't kill them if it's gonna save them from being under this trance. During that moment, he was wearing his helmet, and during that entire moment, you didn't even need to see it or have Ahsoka lift that helmet up. You could already tell Rex was crying very hard because he was just very sad with how things have turned out, how everything has just become what it is. It horrifies him, and I can disagree with him. That is horrifying to know that first he is free, but everyone else is under that trance. But for him, he pretty much saved himself. Let's not forget, Rex kept his eye out for what happened with Fives during that incident of his chip malfunctioning and making Rex know that those chips that are inside their brains served a big purpose, which he didn't know about until finally Sidious gave him the execution of Order 66. But that all aside, we gotta also talk about Darth Maul, since he was really the cause of the ending of this episode. And that was in the fact that, first off, I'm not saying that I hate Maul, because I love Maul, because even through all this tragedy and stuff, they made sure to give us some badassery with Maul, because that's what makes Maul so likable. He is chaotic, he's such a badass, and he just knows how to get things done. And that's exactly what he did, because it's because of him that in the end, as we all know, everything that was going on in that ship was going on while they were in hyperspace. But with Maul using the powers of the Force, destroyed the engines that that caused them to be in hyperspace. And since that was destroyed, they jumped out of hyperspace. And sadly, unfortunately, they were in the direction where they were unfortunately in a spot of the moon's gravitational pull, and since their engines and nothing else was working, all they could do was just continue to fall until they would crash onto that moon. But still, the fact that Maul did that and in the end managed to escape shows how much of a badass he is. But one of the things I loved about that spot with Maul wasn't also just that, him causing all that destruction, destroying the hyperdrive engines and stuff, but also when he take the shuttle that Ahsoka and Rex were trying to take at first, and then that struggle between him and Ahsoka was very chilling. I was just like, Ahsoka, please let go, because I was seriously saying that. Because unfortunately, it was during that time that they were on the hangar, and those clone troopers were were starting to come up all over the place. That Rex and Ahsoka wasn't going to be able to hold them off, and Rex was pretty much just telling Ahsoka, "Forget about it. Let that shuttle go." Luckily, she decided to do it at the last minute, because man, otherwise she and Rex would have been dead. But let's be honest, they would have been dead a long time ago if it weren't for those 3 astromech units, especially her R2 unit. Well, not R2 unit, but you guys know what I'm saying, R7 and all those other droids, because it was because of those 3 droids that they always kept narrowly escaping a no-win situation here, especially when Ahsoka came up with an idea to try to stall them so the astromechs could do their job and get them a shuttle. And speaking of which, that plan Ahsoka had was something I was wondering if it would have come up at the end of this episode, and that was the fact that she's not a Jedi. And it did come up in a very curious way, might I add. You see, Ahsoka came up with that plan to have Rex still be under control, and instead of Order 66 executing the Jedi, instead they take Ahsoka captive, and he was hoping to do that by reminding all his other clone troop brothers that she is no longer a Jedi. And when I think about it now, Darth Maul and Ahsoka have something in common. And all I can say is, if I said that to Ahsoka, she would be so pissed. But it's actually kind of true, because here's the thing. Darth Maul used to be a Sith Lord, while Ahsoka used to be a Jedi. And even though they're both not technically Sith and Jedi anymore, they sure do act like them. It's so funny how that works. But either way, though, back on track here. I just wanted to pull that out for a minute. And what Rex did there, that was a clever thing to do. Try to spare her by saying she's not a Jedi. Well, unfortunately, though, that wasn't going to work either way. Because here's the thing. Order 66 was always meant to exterminate all Jedi. Doesn't matter whether they were labeled Jedi or not. They would still be a threat to the Empire. So, knock them dead. But like I said, guys, those astromechs were there to save them until the end, when they couldn't help them anymore. But by then, that's when Ahsoka and Rex found the shuttle and made it out just in time as the ship was breaking and as it crash landed. And might I add, during that entire fall and during that time, Rex and Ahsoka were backing each other up, just trying to save each other. That's one of the only good things you could feel in a sort of joyness and knowing the camaraderie between these two. And then finally, it came to a head at that very ending, as I talked about earlier. Everyone on that ship died except Ahsoka and Rex, and they didn't waste time. She still saw them as their comrades, and since she knew they were under trance due to those chips in their head, she and Rex made sure to build a grave for all of them. And might I add, seeing that grave and seeing all their helmets, especially ones with Ahsoka's face paint on it and stuff, it's a really good tribute to them. A very great sign of a soldier's respect. I've never been in the military and stuff, but I've seen enough to know that you know great respect when you see it, even for soldiers of military and all that. And yeah, that last scene. Oh yeah, before that, she also made a a burial for her R7 unit, which was good there. Our R7 unit's been there to help her out, just like R2-D2 was there for Anakin, Luke Skywalker, and all other people. But then finally, seeing Ahsoka in that cloak and just looking at all those people's graves was definitely a tragic thing to be watching. It was kind of tough to watch, might I add. I'm not going to lie. I think there were a few tears coming out of me from that because she's seeing all this, telling herself, I can't believe it had all come to this. But what I can only do now is move forward, as she looked at her lightsaber and then put it on the ground so she could let people, if anyone ever came looking for that ship of theirs, they know that she died as well, since she was the main target. And wouldn't you know it, that sometime after she and Rex leaves, who better to come to that planet? The recently turned Darth Vader. That's right, guys. Darth Vader showed up at that planet sometime later when it's snowing and stuff, and finds Ahsoka's lightsaber. And since he didn't find her body anywhere nearby, he kind of figured that means she's dead. So that explains exactly how he thought she was dead until they met again in Star Wars Rebels, when they sensed each other. And to their final confrontation comes Star Wars Rebel. But that's it, guys. That was the episode. And guys, like I said, tragic, nothing but tragic in there, but with a few scenes of good camaraderie with Ahsoka and Rex, and badass from Darth Maul, to the tragic end of the 51st clone troopers, with Commander Rex being the commander, but not anymore. But you get my point. Still, it was a great way to end it. It filled in a lot of plot holes we were all asking ourselves, especially considering how Revenge of the Sith, when all that happened during the prequel trilogy, kind of left a lot of plot holes that we couldn't really react so much to Order 66 the way we act to it now. That's actually what Star Wars The Clone Wars gave us, when they gave us to see personalities and characters with these clone troopers. But as I said, I better make a video on that another time. But until then, guys, I'm going to leave it all at that. And if you're enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!